A very good afternoon, everyone. So, we have Mr. Sudeep with us, who has over 8 years of experience in the cloud domain. He has experience on AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud. So, he is here to demonstrate us a little bit hands on experience on how to host a website on AWS. Now, that is the topic for today. So, Mr. Sudeep, welcome to the session, sir. It's over to you. You can start, sir.
Thank you, Karthik. So, hello everyone. I hope that all of you are well. Okay, so today's session is about how we will be hosting a website on our cloud. So, I will be taking AWS into demonstration for that, and you guys can later on go with any cloud platform. You are free to use that. So, let's first start with the discussion that what you guys have idea about cloud. Let's begin with our discussion on what basically cloud is and why should we shift over cloud. So basically cloud is a, let's say, a private network where we can put all our servers and everything, reducing the capital cost. So here we get the first point. So the first point is that it reduces our capital cost. Now how does it reduce? Because almost all the clouds follow the pay per use system. We have to use like services, and on the basis of how much services we have used, we will be paying. So in this way it reduces the cost. Now coming to the website hosting part, we can host our website on cloud, and let's compare side by side. If I go with hosting a website in real life and in cloud, in real life what will be the things? First I will have to purchase a capital, I have to install servers, I have to go for databases. And even after all these investments, let's say if the traffic is low, in that case I will be paying the electricity charges and other charges for even the servers and databases which I am not using. Basically, even if my server and like entire infrastructure is not being used, in that case also I will have to pay for that. Now here in the cloud that is not the case. I can directly start with even one server for my database part. I can even start with even one database, and most of the clouds offer us auto scaling. Now what auto scaling feature is, it scales up and down automatically based upon certain conditions. Either it can be billing condition, it can be traffic condition, it can be CPU utilization. And the other thing is the cloud platforms offers us load balancing. Now if what load balancing is, if I have 4 servers running, and in real life scenario all the traffic can be shifted to any one of the servers, but with load balancing what will happen, that the traffic will be shifted to all the 4 of the servers, and it will be distributed. So in this case each server will be facing a very less load than previously expected. So I hope that this things is clear that why to opt for cloud. And now I will be moving to the hands-on part. Okay, so for launching a web server, we require compute services. In case of Azure also we have compute services. In case of GCP also we have compute, and in AWS also we have compute. Now in case of AWS, which I am using here, we have EC2 as our compute service, and this is my EC2 dashboard. Now in case of Azure and GCP we have compute engines, but in case of AWS we call them instances. So now I will go to instances and let's launch an instance. So how to launch an instance? Now before that, what an instance is? An instance is basically a web server or a virtual machine, in simple words, which is deployed on my AWS cloud. So when I go to launch instances, I will find many options here, which is the first thing, the operating system which I want. And in case of AWS, they are known as AMIs, basically images. Now what does an image contain? It contains all the software data, like what operating system is running, what services are running. So using this image I can go for any kind of operating system I want. So let's go with a Linux Ubuntu system here, and before that let's give it a name, web server. Moving further, the next thing is instance type. Now what is an instance type? If I am launching a machine, I will definitely require a CPU, some memory and other things. So the instance type basically contains the data of, if I am launching a CPU, how many CPUs I want. If I want only one CPU, I want 2 CPUs. Like if I click expand this box, you can see that one virtual CPU 1 GB memory, one virtual CPU, 2 GB memory, then two virtual CPU, 4 GB memory, two virtual CPU, 8 GB memory. So basically we have this instance types which contains hardware specifications of the servers I am going to deploy. So here I will go with T2.micro because you can see it is free tier eligible. Now what is free tier eligible? Basically free tier eligible is that I won't be charged for the service which I am using until and unless it crosses a certain limit. So before that limit, I will not be charged. So for this T2.micro, the limit is 750 hours in a month. And if I am running only one web server, it is very hard to cross. Now moving further, I have key pair. Now in most of the clouds, I don't have a key pair by default, but here AWS offers us an advantage that for logging in, I can create a key pair over here itself. But in other clouds, we have to use external tools as well. And some we can create over there as well, but we don't get option while creating itself. But here I get this option. This is the benefit I get on AWS. So this is my key which is already present with me. I can use that key as well as I have another option. I can go for create new key pair and create a key pair for me. I just have to give a name, let's say web and create, and the key pair will be created and downloaded in my system. And now I can't re-download that key pair. Why? Because if I can download it again, then anybody can log into my account and download that key pair again. In that case, my account will not be secure. So now I can't download that key pair again. Let's go with this key pair itself, the one I created. Here network settings, we have security groups, our VPCs and subnet. Now VPC is just the copy of my network which is present in real life. In real life we have building, inside building we have department. Each department is using several machines. So in the same manner, this VPC is building, subnets are different departments, and my instance is a machine used. Coming to security groups, what a security group is? It is a set of firewalls. Now what firewalls are? They are just specifications. If a traffic is coming, so from which port it should come. Now this is my default security group. It is all traffic. Basically all ports are open for everyone. In like if I want to deploy a server in real life, I won't be going with this all traffic rule. So for that reason, what I will do, I will not go with this. I will go with create security group. Now what is the traffic that I want? I want SSH traffic, I want HTTPS traffic, and I want HTTP traffic only. Now why SSH? SSH is for accessing my Linux instance. Basically for Linux we do SSH. Then HTTPS for accessing internet secured websites. For HTTP to go to internets, not like the website which does not have a SSL certification. That is the websites which show not secure when we log into them. Now here in configure storage, we can provide storage where we will be, first we need a root volume where our operating system will be launched. The next thing is a extra volume. If I want, I can attach it. If I don't need, I don't need to attach it. I can add a new volume as well as I can run over this volume. But the base thing is I will require at least one volume. Now why I will require at least one volume? Because that will be root volume, and on my root volume the machine will be launched which I am going to launch. So I hope this thing is clear how to launch an instance. Now this instance is launched, you can see successfully. Now let's go back to instances and see if this instance is available or not. So this is my instance and it is pending. It means it is in creation stage. Okay, so now it's up and running. How to log in inside my this web server? There are several methods, and going to this connect, like how to connect to this instance, we have several options here. I can directly connect through this connect option. It will connect over the browser itself. Now, so what is the advantage of using this AWS? You can see that I don't even need any external tool for connection also. I can directly connect from the browser itself, and now you can see that I am inside a Ubuntu machine which is I launched. Now the other thing is that if I want to connect from any external tool such as my PowerShell, so I can even do that. So let's go to PowerShell. Basically I can connect even from my Windows terminal. So first thing, I will go to the directory where I have my key pair. So for that, let's see where the key pair is present. So downloads, Yeah, here is the key pair. Let's check the path. The path is this. So let's copy the path, go to download, sorry, the terminal, and cd paste. But you will see I am now inside downloads. Now the next thing is I have to log in. So now how to log into it? For that we have ssh command. So why ssh command? Because we have opened the ssh port in our instance and we want to connect to it, so we will go through the ssh port. Now hyphen I, now I will require the public ip address here. Why? Because I'm making this connection from somewhere else, which is my local machine, and they are inside different networks. So I will definitely require the IP address, which is the public IP address. Now the key which I will be using is web. Now the next thing is the name. My machine is a Ubuntu machine, and if I see here inside connect, the username is Ubuntu. So I will write the username Ubuntu at the rate of, and now paste the IP address and enter. Yes, I want to log in. And now you can see I am inside my Ubuntu machine. So you can see that I can even connect from my browser itself, as well as I can connect to my machine from the PowerShell also. So this is the benefit of using a cloud machine, that I can connect from any. But if I go with VirtualBox and other things, in that case, if my operating system goes down, I will not be able to access that machine. Now, the next thing is I have to launch a website. So I need to convert this IP address, which is associated with my machine, to a web server. So let's go copy this public IP address and see what we get here. If I paste this IP address here, I am not getting anything. This site can't be reached. It refused the connection. Now, why is that? Because this is a machine and it is not converted into a web server. So let's convert it into a web server from here itself. So for that, I require a client which can convert. So I will install that client. Sudo apt install Apache. Okay, so it has been installed. Let's refresh it here. And now you can see that Apache 2 default web page is available. Now, this is Apache 2's default web page, but I want to launch my website here. So what should I do in that case? So for that, I will have to replace this file, which is index.html, with my index.html file. So this is located at this path. If you can see here, this is the path of the index.html file. So let's refresh it and connect to that path. Now if I do ls, you can see that index.html is present here. Now I want to replace this file with my file. So let's remove this. And if I do ls now, it is gone. And if I refresh it, you can see that nothing is available. So now the next thing is I will be deploying my website. So for that, I have a website here inside this PC and documents. So let's see. Yeah, this is the website. Let us check what this website is. This is a web developer website. So now what I will do, I will launch this website over the IP address of the machine which I have created. So for that, you can see the path is this, and I have to upload it here. So the first thing which I can do is create this index.html here, go to my website, open with notepad, copy the entire code and paste it here. This is the first thing which I can do. Now once the code is pasted, let's close this, go back to the IP address part and refresh. Now you can see that the website is visible over here, but it's quite a hard task to upload the code. If there are 5 files, since this was a single page website, it was very easy for me. But if it is a website which is having 5 or 6 pages, in that case what to do? In that case, you can use any SSH tool such as WinSCP to transfer the files from your Windows to your, we will be going with the older version itself. Yeah, so using this WinSCP, what you can do, you can transfer the files from your Windows to your Ubuntu machine. So in host name, I will be pasting the public IP address. Why? Because this is connection from outside the network. Username Ubuntu. And now here's the twist part. I will have to paste the key. But if you see here, this accepts only putty file. Now for that, I will have to convert my PEM to putty. So how I can do that? I can go to putty keygen. So let's go with the putty gen, open it, load, and I will be loading my PEM file. For that, keep it all files, web, open, and now save private. Yes. Now let's give the same name and save. Now the file has been saved. Now I can just directly go to web, open, and okay, login. And now here you can see /home/ubuntu and the IP address of my machine. Now you can see that the IP address is quite different from the IP address which we entered, because once we log into our machine, we get the private IP address of our machine. Now this is my Windows machine and this is my Ubuntu machine. If I want to transfer anything, I can just directly drag and drop it here and it will be transferred. So this is how we can transfer multiple files. I hope this thing is also clear. Now, as I told you that this website is launched, but I have launched it into a single server. If you remember, the instance which I created, it was just one instance. That is, the website is running over a single server. Now, how can I launch it in multiple servers? For that, I will be using the image, because launching over each server separately is quite a difficult task for a human being to do it manually. So for that, I will go to actions, select my instance, actions, and then images and templates and create image. Image name, let's say web server. I don't need any extra volume. Everything is correct. So create image. Now what will happen? A image will be created here. And where I can find this image? Here inside AMIs. And you can see this is the AMI name, web server. Let's give the same name here and save. Now, if I show you the status, it is pending, which means it is creating. Once it will be created, I will be using this image to launch as many instances as I want. And in all those instances, my this web server will be running. So let's wait for it. Now you guys might be wondering why this is taking some time, because it, along with creating an image, it creates a snapshot which is backup, so that all the data which is running in my previous instance which I have created, it can be launched into the new instances which I will be creating. That's the reason it is taking quite some time. So based upon the size of your data, it will take time. So no need to worry about the data, sorry, the image which is created. Now you can see that the status of this image is available. So now let's use this image to create a auto scaling group. Now what a auto scaling group is, it adds servers as well as remove servers based upon the traffic coming. So for that, I will create a launch configuration, web server. Now AMI, I will be using this AMI which we created. Instance type, choose. So let's go with a T2 instance, which is this T2.micro, which is free tier eligible. Choose, and security group. Let's go with default itself. No need to worry about it. And key pair, any key pair. See where web key pair is. Here it is, and I acknowledge. So create launch configuration and created. Now let's use the auto scaling to launch as many web servers we want. So create an auto scaling group, web server, launch template. We don't need a launch template, we need a launch configuration. So switch to launch configuration and web server. Next, VPC and availability zones and subnets. Now, what is this? Why we require these availability zones and subnets? To make our web server available across different regions. So I selected all the subnets, and if you go to these subnets and see here the availability zones, this is 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, 1E, and 1F. Now US East 1 is my North Virginia region, and now the web servers which I will launch, they will be created in all the data servers so that it can be highly available. Now let's go here, 60 seconds. I just want this much, and next. Now how many services I need? If there is a moderate traffic, I require, let's say, only 7 instances. Minimum number of instances I require 5, and maximum I require up to 10. But in real life scenario, since this is a sample website, I'm going with very less number. In real life, it will be in thousands. and next. Okay, the options might not be visible due to chat box, no worries. Next, and now this is the summary, and create auto scaling group. Now this auto scaling group will be created within few minutes, and after that 5 instances will be launched. Not 5, the minimum, yeah, minimum we give 5, so minimum 5 will be launched. Now how to check when the instances are launched or not? Go to your auto scaling activity and activity history. So pre-in service, it basically means that it is launching a new EC2 instance. When it will be launched, where we can see those instances? Here, and you can see pending. Now, how can I confirm that these are my instances? I will just write to here and the key name web. It means that these are my instances. Now, the next thing is, if what happens if I terminate it? Let's terminate this. Basically, terminating means stopping it to work. Now, I have terminated the web server in which my website is running. So, what will happen in this case? If I go here and refresh it, you can see that it is taking some time, and after some time it will give a error. It means my website is down. But that's the major benefit of auto scaling. Now since these instances are running, let's copy anyone's IP address, and you can see that this can't be reached. So now let's go to this and enter, and you can see my website is running on this. And if I go with anybody else IP address, which is this one, and I paste it here, my website is running on this as well. So this is the major benefit of going with cloud. It provides you auto scaling, which adds as well as removes instances as per our need. So if there is a huge traffic, it will add instances and my website will be running on those instances, and I have not to worry about anything. So I hope these things are clear. Now let's say even if one of the instance gets terminated out of the ones I have launched using the auto scaling, so terminate. Now even this one is going down. Still, if I go to any other, I can copy it and paste it here, and it will be working fine. You can see. So this is the benefit of going with the cloud. Even if my machines go down, no need to worry, it will add and like work with all my machines. All my web servers will be running totally fine. And now, and I hope that this session was helpful to you guys to understand what is the benefit of going with cloud, and how the services work, how we won't be paying extra for anything. Because what will happen if let's say the traffic is very low, as I gave the minimum, it will go to the minimum. If the traffic is going high, it will add up to the maximum. So that's the reason if we go with cloud, we will not have any upfront costs. We will be paying only for the things which you are using. Thank you from my side, everyone.
Just a quick info, guys. If you want to make a career in cloud computing, then Intellipaat provides an advanced certification on cloud and DevOps by IIT Madras. This course is taught by industry experts and IIT Madras faculty. This course is designed to upskill and land your dream job.